stroke Pilates class, and it will be changing slightly soon, so we'll have a bit of a mix up. But today we're going to start on the floor, as we always do with Pilates, and just come into your belly breath. So just lie down. What a lovely way to start an exercise session, having a little lie down. And really just focus on your breath and relaxing your body. And we won't be here too long, because I don't want you to nod off. We have got work to do, but just really taking time to focus on you and on your body. How does it feel? Try and relax those feet, the legs, the shoulders. Relax your face and your fingers, your toes. And just breathe. Breathe deep down into your belly. Right down. Just focus on that breath and only on the breath. And stay with it. Focus that breath down into your toes. Deep down into the belly. And just take a couple of long, slow, deep breaths in. Fill in your belly. And then breathe in all the way out. Just taking your time with it. Relaxing into it. Lovely. And then in your own time, you're going to roll onto your side. And then come over onto your front and into child's pose. Sending your hips, your bottom backwards. Pushing your bottom down. Sending your hands forwards. Sliding onto the floor. Dropping your armpits towards the floor. And just moving. Trying to drop one armpit lower. And then the other. Just taking your time here. Just side to side, pushing down gently. Nothing too hard or rushed. And then we're going to move forwards, coming into our chest opener. So we send the weight into the hands and just lift your chin. Keep the hips and the back nice and stable. Try not to drop the hips too low. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and then push back again, right into child's pose. All the way back and just coming into that flow. So sitting back, working through that move and coming forwards, squeezing the shoulder blades, opening out the chest. Strength through the core, so really bracing through those abdominal muscles. Wiggle jiggling, taking your time, using your breath, trying not to hold your breath. Coming backwards and forwards, just getting movement through the shoulders, through the shoulder blades. And one more time, and then we come onto our sides. And we come into our beautiful sunrise arms. So we lie onto our side. You can have a cushion for your head or a ball or a pillow. And this is where you take your time and you go within your own range. So we start with our hands together, arms outstretched, knees are bent and hips are flexed. And then we take that arm, the top arm brushes over the carpet, goes overhead, Trying to keep the knees fairly still and taking that arm behind you. Take your eye gaze with you and then bring that hand over back to where we started. And take your time, trying to get a little bit more movement through the shoulder, through the armpit for now. And with the knees fairly close together, you feel that stretch through the armpit, through the chest, maybe through the waist and the front of the hip, the front of the pelvis. Just notice how that feels, and then allow the knees to separate as you slide that hand all the way behind you if you can. And holding it if you need to, if you feel like you need a stretch in any particular position. And we're going to just take our time here today. If you have been gardening and doing all your housework, shoulders get stiff but tight, so let's give them some time to stretch them out. Now we're going to change this. We're going to take the top leg and we're going to straighten out that top leg. And then we're going to take those shoulders, the arm over. And come back. So the bottom knee is still bent. The top leg is straight. How does it feel if you bend that top leg, straighten the bottom leg? So just working in different moves here. You might feel a bigger stretch through the armpit there. And taking your time, working with your body, noticing. What do you feel? What do you feel in your body? Where can you feel a stretch? Does it feel nice, comfortable, or does it feel uncomfortable somewhere? And then we're going to change sides. So either just roll over away from me or flip over and start again on the other side. So setting yourselves up again, knees together, hips are flexed and knees are flexed too. And coming down onto your shoulder. And just working within your own range of movement on this side now. Just taking your time. If you can't make that movement, it's fine. Do what you can. For those with shoulder injuries, sometimes it helps to just keep one hand on your shoulder and then just allow the elbow to lift. Or just take your arm to a certain point so that you don't feel discomfort anywhere. And just keep going with that flow, holding if you need to. And then allowing those knees to separate as you come back. You drift that arm back. Noticing your body. Noticing anything that feels like it's releasing. Or would you still need to work on one area, for instance? Taking that top leg in front of you, straightening off the bottom leg and lifting that arm overhead again, sliding overhead, holding if you need to, thinking about that range of shoulder movement, that opening of the chest. Keep breathing, try not to hold your breath. And then try it with the top leg straight and the bottom knee bent up. How does that feel? And then we make our way onto all fours as we come in to thread the needle. So a lovely little bit of time spent there. So your shoulders should feel nice and mobile. And we come into our 4-point kneeling. So into all fours, and set yourself up here so you'll feel strong. Your shoulders are away from your ears and your knees are underneath your hips. And we take one hand through and drop that shoulder towards the floor. Settle and hold or move the hips, trying to drop that shoulder down onto the floor, lifting back up to neutral, and then sending that arm up and out, and then bringing it back down. So again, working through your range of movement. Everybody is so different, and one side of you will be maybe much more mobile. Keep breathing regularly. Lovely. Just going to have a look at you. Really good. Really lifting up that hand, taking your eye gaze with you as you lift that arm up, and then really dropping that shoulder down to the floor. And you might feel that in that supporting shoulder. Lovely. And then we're going to change arms. And again, noticing how does it feel as you drop that shoulder down to the floor. And lift and push through that hand. Lift and open out the chest. Eye gaze lifts. And we keep moving. Sending that hand through. Dropping the shoulder, moving the hips if you need to. Pushing and lifting that arm. Really opening out. And a couple more for me. Lovely. And settle back onto all fours. Excuse me. Into our kneeling hip circle. So we're on all fours. And we're going to start with one leg. And we're going to really squeeze that knee up towards the elbow. Lift the leg out. Send the heel really high. Bring it back in. Knee comes towards the elbow. And send it back and up. Now, I really want you to focus on lifting, pushing that heel up. Keeping that knee bent. And lift and rotate around. So we've got a full range of movement through the hip. So we lift, imagining the top of the femur into that hip socket, working its way right the way around, up, down and in, and keep going. So really focusing on extending as far as you can into that range. So really lifting the knee towards the chest, really pushing that heel up towards the ceiling. Lovely. And then we're going to swap sides. So as you lift that foot, really push that heel up towards the ceiling. Good. Up, out. So cocking that leg. Big squeeze. Lifting in, squeezing that knee towards the elbow. And back out and up. Take your time here. If you're rushing, you're not going to get that full range of movement. So take your time with that movement of the knee. Lovely. Excellent. Really great for hips, hip joints, the pelvis, getting that range of movement right into the sacroiliac joint. And let's come into a cat-cow while we're here. So we round up through the spine, round through the spine, drop the chin, eye gaze through the legs. And then we lift the chin, lift the tail, eye gaze lifts, and then round again. Now I've been calling my little sexy cat, but it's a sexy cow, isn't it? I think, because this is cow pose, isn't it? Where you stick your bum and wiggle. So, I think so anyway. I'll look into it. I'd rather be a sexy cat than a sexy cow any day, wouldn't you? And again, hold the position if you need to. So really tuck your bottom under, tuck the pelvis under, squeeze through the pelvic floor. And then lift the chin. Still holding on to the pelvic floor here, where we're quite vulnerable. Round. Really push those shoulders away and out. Up and lift the chin. Lovely. And come into a seated position with your legs to one side. Your favourite move coming up, ladies. Do you love it yet? So we start to one side. Let's see how we feel. We haven't done this for a couple of weeks, unless you did it for your homework when we were off. So have a look. How are your knees feeling on the floor? Are your legs on the floor this side? Pretty much. Come to the other side. Are your legs on the floor? Oh, better this week. I don't feel quite as comfortable this side. We all have one side that we sit in a more comfortable position. So keep going. Trying to drop that knee down to the floor. Using that strength through your core to get you from one side to the other. Sending the arms up. That's it. Give it a little nudge if it won't go, Jane. So side to side. And then we're going to add in that little rotation, so hands come around to the floor and give a little press. So allow the head face to come towards the floor and a push up as we come to the other side. Rotate, turn around, press down, and a big push. So quite a big movement here. Twisting and turning, pushing, lowering. And I'm getting closer and closer to you. So I'm going to hip walk back while you carry on. Couple more. And then just have a rest. Because that makes you hot, doesn't it? It's quite a big movement, so well done. Okay, one of my favourite, sumo squat to hamstring curl, hamstring stretch. So however you want to get there, but normally come onto your knees. Take your feet behind you, and then nice wide feet. Wide feet if you can. If you need a chair to hold on to just support you, because I know not everybody can do it, or just come up to standing and then get down into as close to position as you can. Lovely. And we're going to just side to side, so rock side to side. Coming onto the heels, or just literally transferring weight from one side to the other. And we're going to drop the head and the hands and lift the hips, lift the bottom, and eye gaze through the legs, and start to move side to side. So feel that stretch along the back of the leg into the hamstrings, maybe the back of the knee, the calves. Taking your time. And then we drop the hips down again. Eye gaze lifts. If you can, send those elbows to the knees. And just wide. Lovely. So really, really good hip opener here. And then drop again. So in your own time, sometimes if you're not quite that far down into a sumo squat, it's quite difficult to just hold it in a 3/4 squat. So take your time and do what works best for you. Side to side. And into that little lift and lower. Lovely. Then we're going to make our way up and coming back to a cat-cow. So hands on the shins into a flat back for now. Bend through the knees, round the spine, chin to chest. Feeling slightly different in standing. And then lift the chin, stick the bottom up and out. Stretching through the front of the body. And go again, round. Big push of the spine up towards the ceiling. And lift the chin. And we're coming up to stand. Take your time. If you need to grab a drink, do. Oh, that took a while today to come up to standing, but nice big fat stretch for you. Okay, adjust your leggings if you need to, always. Okay, so coming into rotate now. So we're going to set up, feet are under hips, and we're going to soften through the shoulders, relax the knees, relax the shoulders, okay? Actually roll them out first to start with. Rolling one and then the other. Just helps to get used to standing. Pump your heels if you need to, if you've not adjusted to coming up to standing yet. And then we come into our little rotation. So we bend through the knees, keeping the hips facing forwards as much as you can for now. Sending one elbow behind you, opening out that hand, reaching back, coming to the front again, soften through the knees. Reset in the center if you need to. It's really important to just think about those hips and pelvis for now and where they are. So the movement is coming through the waist, through the ribs, through the front of the shoulder. There's no movement really into the knees, below the waist. And we'll change that shortly. Just a couple more times here as we work through that torso twist. And then we're going to allow the hips to move and then take the hand back. So you can gradually lean, reach a bit further behind, reset in the center, allow those hips to move, and just notice the difference when we allow the hips and the pelvis to move. Taking the hand behind, reaching behind, and one more. And then we're coming into our lateral bend. So one hand comes over, up and over, reach that hand up, reach it up first, and then take that arm over, push that opposite hand away. So you're pushing in opposite directions. Coming back to center again. Take the hand up and reach up, reach first, and then send the hands in opposite direction. So your shoulders should be in line with the rest of your body. You're not leaning forwards or backwards. Taking your time here. Reach up and over. So you're aimed to try and get that hand overhead. Again, such a lovely stretch. Up, and especially if you push up. So you're lifting here, lift, and then reach over. We really separate the ribs there. One more time each side. Really focusing on that lift and separation. Lift, push. Lovely. And last time. Fabulous. And coming into our single leg stand. So if you need something to hold on to or support, you can have a wall. We're going to flex through our foot. So the standing leg, the supporting knee is soft. Flex through the other foot. And we start to make a circle backwards. Small, slow circle. So stand upright. So stand. Pull the muscles in the belly in. Relax the shoulders back and down. Think about your posture. And feel that squeeze of the bottom, the glutes behind as you take the leg backwards. So, taking it backwards. Feel that squeeze. Try not to arch the back, so that movement comes from the butt here. So, squeeze. And then we're going to change direction. So, send that leg back. Small circle around. Small circle around. Lovely. So quite strong through that supporting leg. You're taking all your weight, all your body weight through that. Great for bone health. And then we're going to swap sides. So swap legs, soften through that supporting knee, flex through the foot, and we're taking that foot back and behind. So feel that squeeze behind. Lovely, nice and slowly. So the foot kind of brushes the floor as the heel comes back in. Lovely. And then we're going to reverse direction. Lovely, good. Fabulous. And hold it there. Just a little march out. Coming to that first foot again, so I'm going to turn around and we're going to rest our weight onto the top of the foot. So just rest the weight there. And then we stretch the hand, the arm on the same side, lifting that hand up and overhead, taking your eye gaze with you, really bracing the muscles in the belly and the core. Stretching over and bringing that hand down. And just practicing a couple of times before we add that little tick-tock. So get used to this movement, get used to where your legs are, get used to that feeling. Holding on to something now if you need to. As we come into that tick-tock, we lower the arm, the foot lifts, trying to be in a straight line. So push the hand away, the toes push away, and lower, resting back on the top of the foot. Reaching behind and leaning, tick-tocking, hinging. And give me one more while I watch you. Lovely Jane, I can see you from the side. Lovely Barbara. Oh, Sue, this is the one where I say you look beautiful and changing. So, honestly, you look lovely. So we're going to change sides. So popping that other foot onto the floor. Whoop. So relaxing the toes, just really feeling that stretch on the toes. We don't often kind of rest our feet here, do we? We don't get this stretch through the foot and the top of the ankle. Just enjoy it. Alter your position if you need to. And then we add that lift of the arm, lift and reach over and lower. Again, just getting used to this side, flowing with those movements, feeling that stretch through the front chain of your body. And then this time, holding on, supporting if you need to or not. If you're pretty good, lower and lift the heel and tick-tocking in your own time. And just stay with that movement. How does it feel this side? Better? Or does it need more work? Lovely, last time. Fabulous. And then come to the front and just march out a little bit. Oh, so you should feel all stretched out, especially through the fronts of your bodies, the ribs and the waist. So we're going to come into our lovely lunge and reach. So we're going to take a step to the side, a big step, and land safely. Take your weight to that front leg. If you want to, you can drop the elbow, reach up and over, or you can just stay with the lunge. Take that hand back, and then it's a big push. It's power here, so it's a push and land. Lovely. Lift, step, turn the toes, reach over. Good. So building confidence in that step. So in your own time, it's that big lift of the leg. Land on the foot safely, confidently, reaching, dropping that hip down. Lovely. Taking a nice wide step if you can. So step up and over, land, lean, reach. Good. Step back. Okay, let's change sides. So, start slowly. Land, lean. Whoop. Careful. A few wobbles on Zoom. It's fine, it's good, it's not good, but actually, if we know that we can step and recover, then it's all good. Lovely. Now I'm reaching my arm overhead just because I've got a dodgy shoulder, but if you want to bring it up and over, you can. I'll try it. There, I did. But what I want to see is not your hips here, drop that hip. So you've got a long line from the heel to the fingers. And this is the one that gets your heart rates going. It's a big lift, it's a big step, and it's a big push off. Okay, give me one more. Lovely, good. And we're coming to the wall. So some more work in standing. So you know what to do here. If you haven't done it before, I'm going to go sideways, but you can rest on a wall so you've got support. So we're going to come up onto the toes. So we lift the heels and lower. We lift and lower. Lift and lower, just taking your time. Now, if you just lift and lower, that's fine. But what happens if you stay up is your ankles are not stable. So we push the weight through the big toe and second toe, and that creates stability through the ankle. Now, if you're against the wall, we're going to allow, I'll move, we're going to allow our bodies to come forwards and drop towards the wall. We use the strength in our arms to push away and drop the heels down. So we're lifting, lowering the body, pushing the body off and lowering the heels. So getting some work, getting some movement, some strength through the calves. Working through those toes, spreading the toes out, and through the arms, shoulders as well. Okay, we're going to change that. And we're going to take our toes outwards, heels together, toes are out. Same movement with the arms. So you're going to push up and then lower the body towards the wall and then push back. Now, if you find this too easy, step away from the wall a little bit more so you've got more body weight. You're pushing and lowering more of your body weight to the wall and back off. Fabulous. Lovely. Then we're going to change again. We're going to turn the heels out and toes are in. This time we're going to alternate hands. So one hand is high, lower and lift, lower and push, and then change sides. I'm going to go against the wall. So, and again, stepping away from the wall if you need to, if it's not challenging you. If you want to push your body off the wall, you can. Push and lean and lower, lower and push, lower and push. And then last one, come back into neutral feet, elbows tuck into your waists, and we come into triceps. So lower your hands down. Hands are at chest height here. And we lift, lower your bodies towards the wall. Elbows are tucked right in. Lift and lower. Working through the backs of the arms. You can stay up on your toes if you want to, or you can lift and lower. It's really good for your calves though. Get beautifully shaped legs doing this. And then have a little rest. We're going to stay here, stay facing the wall though, and I'll show you from this side. So we're going to walk our legs out. Okay, come into a flat back and drop one arm down towards the wall, towards the floor, and just let it dangle. Let that arm dangle, let it kind of do what it naturally wants to do. And then from the shoulder, allow it, try to make a little circle. So it's from the shoulder we move. We're pressing the wall away with the other hand. So you're getting a stretch through the other shoulder into the armpit, also into the lower back, the backs of the legs. Reverse direction of that arm. And then we're going to swing that arm side to side. Just allow it to drop. So it's really heavy. You're not really controlling it. And then we're going to swap sides. So allowing the other arm to dangle. So it's weightless really. Think about pushing the bottom back, stretching through the backs of the legs a little more, and circling the arm one way. Again, that motion coming from the shoulder, pulling the muscles in the belly in, and then taking that hand, the arm in the other direction. And then side to side. And then we're going to pop both hands on the wall, and we're going to lift the heel of one leg. So we're going to lift that heel, squeeze the heel up towards the bottom, keeping the hips facing forwards. Then we lift that knee into the chest, tuck in, push and lift. So similar to the single leg circle that we did on the floor, but we're not into the circle, we're just flexing through the hip, keeping that knee bent, squeezing the heel up towards the bottom and the knee towards the chest. And then swap sides. So keeping that knee nice and bent, really squeezing. Lovely, lovely movements through the hips. So bend that knee right up if you can, lovely. Good, good. And come up to standing. Pump your heels at the top here. So lots of shoulder work there. Lovely. And into our curtsy. Ooh, grab a quick drink if you need to. I see some of you are thirsty. So it looks like a step. So you can start with a step back and bend through the knees. What we want is a step behind and across, and then we bend the knees. Lovely, Sue. Now you can change sides or do a few on one side and stay there. Depends on how much space you've got. But I want to see that step behind. Now I'm going to show you sideways, because if I step away and down, that's not very good demonstration, was it? Away and down. So I've got quite a wide step, which gives me more balance. Imagine that base of support. It's the same if you're crossing your legs behind you. If I'm in quite a narrow stance, I'm going to be quite unsteady. So big step, drop those knees. Lovely, Anne. Good. Again, building confidence in this move. How many times do we have to bend down or kneel down? I know we don't curtsy, but if you can, we're building up all those muscles that support the hips around the knees. Think about what the ankle is doing. Lovely. Now, can you, that's it, Sue, drop that knee to the floor. How does it feel that side? Push. Try it on the other side. Easier or harder? Or the same? If you need to push up from your thighs, you can. You've always got your legs to push up from. If you find yourself struggling, you've always got that to push up from. But if you can, use no hands. You're simply using the power of your body to push you up. Lovely, and hold it there. You're right, Elaine. Shake it out if you need to. Little shake. I'm hot now. Okay, so back to lunges. This time we're stepping back in, and then we're stepping to the diagonal but backwards. Okay, so on one side only for now. So step together, step back. And this is where you can add arms if you want to. So allow them to swing. Allow that counterbalance with the swing. If you want to just try and tap the toe here as you come to center, or not touch at all. See how you go. Have you got the confidence to do that? If not, don't worry, but actually, single leg standing is fantastic. Whoop. And again, if you wobble, that's fine. It's all about thinking about making those compensatory steps. So when we wobble, we step, we don't grab. Okay, swap sides. So slow control to start with, to that diagonal. Slow, and add that reach. So your body gets used to the movement pattern, and it gets used to being in one particular place quite quickly, which is why we can start to build when we continue making these movements. So I'm tapping my foot on the floor as I come to center. Stick your bottom out in that lunge, so you get a deep lunge. Now I'm going to add that lift of the foot, so I'm not really tapping down, whoop, and balancing. And it means you control that movement back. Lovely. So a bit longer here. It's good to just challenge. Excellent work. And hold it there. Well done, you look amazing. Ooh, this is great for if you're walking. We had a conversation about dogs and how erratic they are. And you know, they pull you and you're like, how good is this for that movement? You know, you can step backwards to the side. Ooh, well done. Okay, we're coming to the floor. So we're just gonna come down, down. And actually we're gonna get back up, up, up. Did you know I was gonna say that? There you go, that's not empilability. I know. Not yet. So we're working on the next one. It's nearly done. Up, up. If this is too much, just have a rest. Make sure you change that leading foot. So I'm going on the other leg now. So how does this become better? You know, when we've been using that side to side movement, we're using similar muscles to pull us up. And then we're going to go down to the floor and stay there. Coming into our lovely scapular push. So on all fours again. Now, if you know this, you know it. It's quite difficult to coach, but what I want you to do is keep your arms straight, but not locked. And shoulders are away from the ears and tummy's pulled in. And we're just going to drop the chest, keeping our shoulders where they are. So the chest drops to the floor, and then we push the chest away, almost rounding through the shoulders. Drop the chest and keep going. If you want to do this in kneeling, it's this movement, pull back. So my arms stay straight. I pull back and I squeeze. I'll show you from the front here. I squeeze, so my hands stay the same distance apart as they would do if they're on the floor. And the movement comes into the shoulders and pushes away. So protraction, retraction, really working through the movement, through the shoulder girdle. Taking time here to drop and push, and drop and push. And then we're going to come down onto our bellies, lower yourselves down with a little tricep bend, and into our lovely scorpion. I love scorpion. Let's see how we get on today. So, what does it look like? Arms are outstretched. We're going to take, so the aim is to try and get the foot, the opposite foot, to reach the hand behind you. So I'm going to lift the heel, lift like we did, send it up and back towards the hand. Lift that heel up. So we've practiced this move. Readjust when you're on the floor, ladies. Lift that heel. Lift, try and get it towards the hand. I'm right there, not quite. And that's why we lift that knee up. Okay, we lift it, lift. Send it over. Touched it. Good. And you might or you might not be able to, but imagine trying to get that hand towards the foot. That's where we're trying to reach. Stretching through the front of the leg, the front of the pelvis, into the front of the chest, the armpits. And one more time each side. Lovely. And then you're going to roll over onto your side, onto your backs. As we come into our beautiful bridge, but it's a bit more than a bridge. So if you want to just stay in that bridge movement, you can. But if you want to take it higher, it's almost like in a crab pose. So, and you can work to get your feet and your hands down. So if you start bringing your heels towards your bottom, you might be able to grab one ankle, and that's fine, but can you grab the other one? So what you do is lift up the bottom and walk your shoulders down so that you can take hold of the other ankle, or you might not. as close as you can. Spread those knees, so take those knees wide and then lift the hips, push the hips, squeeze the bottom high up to the ceiling. Squeeze the bottom, squeeze, a little bit higher again and then lower down. You can let go of your ankles if you want to. We're going to go one more time. So walking your shoulders down, holding onto the ankles, pushing those knees wide, pushing the hips up a little bit higher, squeezing the bottom. Excellent. And then lowering down, not quite in a heap yet. Last one as we come into our leg stretches. So you have options here, and I know some of you struggle or it gives you pain. So single leg stretch to start with. So one knee is bent, foot on the floor, and the other leg comes out straight, drops towards the skirting boards, bends up, knee towards chest, and pushes away. Now you can add the arms if you want to. So arms come overhead as the leg extends. Hands come up, reach towards the opposite wall, reach back, extend the leg. Lift. Now if you want to add both legs, you can. So knees up. Easier is legs are high. Harder, legs pushed down. Keep breathing. Try not to hold your breath. If you're on a single leg, make sure you change legs. Trying to get a big stretch. And last one. And then settle into a comfortable position because you're done. Phew, that felt much slower to start with, but actually we've got everything in, so well done. I just made you work harder in some of the areas. So grab a top if you need one, or you might be quite warm. Grab a drink if you need to. And let's just relax you, calm you as we come into Mind-Evator. So if you can sit on your sofa, lie on your sofa, on your bed, and then stay there and have a snooze, or sit upright, whichever suits you best and is more comfortable. Grab some cushions if you need to. And just make yourselves as comfortable as possible. Slow your breath and begin by shifting your attention to the outside. What's going on around you. Being aware of the noises and your surroundings, but not paying attention to them. Just letting them go. They're not bothering you. They're just there. And start to adjust again. And bring your attention to your inside now. How do you feel? Are you aware of your heartbeat or your breathing? Are you slightly puffed out, or do you feel calm? This is your time to recover. Just time to spend for you. And if you do hear any noises and you're distracted by them, just notice them. But come back and be aware of your breath, your breathing, back to the belly breath where we started. So bringing that breath deep down into the belly. So when you breathe in, your belly rises. And as you breathe out, your belly falls. Just closing your eyes, relaxing. You owe yourself just 5 minutes to rest and recover. So feeling that breath up through the nose, down into the lungs, and then out through the nose or the mouth. feeling warmed as it's travelled through your body. And now become aware of your feet. Feel them dissolving, and then thinking about the calves, the knees and the thighs. You've worked them quite hard today, so give them some attention. Almost breathing into and out of the legs. If you notice any pain, discomfort, just let it go. Go with it, and let it go. Take your attention to your pelvis and your lower back now. Almost breathing into that area and out again. Letting any tension go, softening and releasing. And becoming curious about sensations in the rest of your body. They're never consistent, they come and go, and that's fine. Think about your muscles, your temperature, and how your body feels against the floor. Those pressure points, feeling safe and grounded. And shifting your attention to your organs. Again, maybe you can feel your heartbeat or your breath. It should have settled by now. And feel the rhythm of the breath. And focus on that flow of breath to your hands and fingertips. Feeling the breath through the arms and the hands. And let your attention expand to include your whole body. Bring your awareness to the top of your head, right down to your toes. And feel that gentle rhythm of breath as it moves through your body. Start to bring your attention back to the present moment. And just gently, slowly drawing one heel in towards the bottom and then the other. Just take your time, there's no rush. Maybe dropping the knees to one side and then the other. You're strong and you're beautiful. Bringing one knee into the chest and the other. Making a circle with the knees and maybe side to side. And we're just starting to rise up. So we need you to leave your space feeling as strong and as empowered as possible. So we come back onto our knees. We're going to come up to standing. So really taking your time here. If you want to just stay on your knees and come up in your own way, you can. Otherwise, take your feet behind you. Take a breath in and out. Sit back into that low squat if you can. Settle and just hold or spend a moment where you are. Start to move side to side again. We're going to come into that hamstring stretch again. So we're going to drop the head, lift the bottom, moving side to side, taking your time. And as we lift the head, rolling through the spine, we're going to take a breath in. As we exhale, we start to pump your heels at the top of that movement. Stand with wide feet, float the arms side to side, soften through those knees. Allow that movement through the waist. Just let those hands hang heavy. Just wrapping gently around the body. Coming back into a neutral position. Bending through those knees, making a circle with the arms. Exhaling. And again, bend the knees, inhale. And last time, I want you to leave your space feeling strong and powerful. And you are done. So thank you for joining us if you're on stream or